Imagine being born into minor German nobility and rising to become one of the most influential rulers in Russian history. That's the story of Catherine the Great. Born as Sophie Friederike August von Anhalt-Zerbst-Dornburg on a spring day of May 2, 1729, she hailed from Stettin, Prussia, a place now known as Szczecin, Poland. Her family, although noble, was not particularly distinguished or powerful, a stark contrast to the grandeur and influence she would later command. Young Sophie's early life was far removed from the opulence of the Russian court. Her days were filled with simple pleasures and the occasional challenges of minor nobility. Yet within her, a spark of ambition, intelligence, and resilience was kindled, setting the stage for an extraordinary life that would transcend the boundaries of her birthright. Little did the world know that this German princess would one day become a formidable Empress of Russia. Destiny had grand plans for Catherine, and they began with a royal marriage. At the tender age of 16, she entered into matrimony with Peter III of Russia, a man known more for his eccentricities than his leadership skills. Despite the tumultuous nature of their union, Catherine never let her personal circumstances cloud her political ambitions. Catherine's marriage was a ticket to power, but it was her strategic maneuvering that eventually led her to the throne. As Peter III's policies alienated him from the Russian nobility, Catherine saw an opportunity. She cultivated alliances with influential courtiers and military officers, playing the game of palace politics with deft skill and cunning. In the summer of 1762, just 6 months after Peter ascended to the throne, Catherine staged a coup d'état. With the support of her allies, she declared herself the rightful ruler of Russia. Peter III, surprised and outnumbered, was forced to abdicate. A week later, under mysterious circumstances, he met his untimely death. Catherine's rise to power was not without controversy, but her authority was never seriously challenged. She was quick to consolidate her power, winning the loyalty of the Russian Orthodox Church and the military. She introduced policies that strengthened her position and brought prosperity to the nation. Notably, her rule marked the beginning of what is often referred to as Russia's Golden Age. It's important to remember that Catherine was a woman in an overwhelmingly male-dominated world, making her achievements all the more impressive. She was not just a queen by marriage, she was a ruler in her own right. Her ascension to power was not a matter of chance, but the result of strategic planning, unyielding determination, and a keen understanding of the political landscape of her time. And just like that, Catherine, a German princess, became the Empress of Russia. Her journey from a minor German noble to the throne of Russia is an extraordinary tale of ambition, strategy, and power. It's a story that reminds us of the complexity of history and the remarkable individuals who shape it. Catherine's reign wasn't just about power, it was about transformation. The woman who came from humble beginnings on Prussian soil stepped into the role of Russia's Empress and used her position not just to rule, but to reinvent the very fabric of Russian society. Catherine the Great held the reins of power for over 3 decades, from 1762 to 1796, and she used this time to enact sweeping changes across her empire. One of her most significant contributions was a series of legal reforms, where she sought to modernize Russia's legal system. She introduced the Nakaz, a legal code that emphasized the equality of all free people before the law, and the importance of protecting the rights and freedoms of her subjects. But Catherine's influence extended far beyond the courtroom. She was a woman with a vision, and that vision was to see Russia grow and thrive. She implemented policies that promoted economic development and expansion. She encouraged foreign investment and trade, reformed the municipal government, and promoted the growth of domestic industries. The Empress was also a strategic thinker, and she knew that to protect her empire, she needed to expand it. During her reign, Catherine embarked on a series of wars and diplomatic maneuvers that significantly increased Russia's territories. These included the Russo-Turkish Wars and the partitions of Poland, which saw Russia's borders extend into Central Europe and to the Black Sea. But Catherine's reign was not just about politics and power, it was also about culture. Catherine had a deep love for the arts and education, and she used her position to promote both. She was a patron of the arts, amassing a vast collection of artwork that would later become the basis for the Hermitage Museum. She also established the Smolny Institute, the first state-financed higher education institution for women in Europe. Catherine believed in the power of education as a tool for societal change. She introduced a new system of education for the nobility and the middle classes, and she established a network of schools across Russia. She believed that an educated populace was key to a prosperous and enlightened society, and she worked tirelessly to make this belief a reality. Catherine the Great was a woman of many talents. She was a skilled politician, a visionary leader, and a patron of the arts. But perhaps her greatest talent was her ability to transform. She transformed herself from a minor German noble into one of the most powerful women in history. She transformed Russia from a relatively unknown nation into a cultural and political powerhouse. Under Catherine's rule, Russia grew in more ways than one. It became a cultural and political powerhouse. Catherine's reign was a time of transformation, a time of growth and a time of enlightenment. It was, in every sense of the word, the reign of Catherine the Great. Even the greatest of reigns must come to an end, and Catherine's was no exception. As the curtain drew to a close on Catherine's reign, her final years were marked by a mix of triumphs and trials. Catherine the Great, born Sophie Friederike August von Anhalt-Zerbst-Dornberg, continued to rule with the same fervor and determination that had characterized her years in power, but her health gradually began to falter. In the late 1790s, Catherine's health took a turn for the worse. It was during this time that Catherine, despite her failing health, continued to be an active participant in the governance of her empire. She was a fighter, a woman of steel who refused to let her physical ailments dictate the course of her rule. Yet every reign, no matter how glorious, has an expiration date. On the 6th of November, 1796, Catherine breathed her last. Her death was as dramatic as her life had been, shrouded in rumors and controversies. Some whispered that she had died of a stroke. Others claimed it was a heart attack. The most scandalous of these tales suggested a far more ignominious end, involving a horse. These rumors, however, were largely dismissed as the fabrications of those who sought to tarnish her legacy. Her death marked the end of an era, and the throne passed to her son, Paul I. Paul, who had been kept away from any significant power by Catherine during her reign, was a stark contrast to his mother. His reign was marked by a return to autocracy, a direct contrast to Catherine's Enlightenment-inspired policies. Even in death, Catherine was the subject of much speculation and controversy. Yet beneath all the rumors, one fact remained unaltered. Catherine the Great had left an indelible impression on Russia. Her reign, marked by expansion, modernization, and a determined pursuit of power, had transformed Russia into a dominant force on the global stage. Though Catherine's life ended in controversy, her reign left an indelible mark on Russia. Her legacy, a testament to her formidable rule, continues to echo through the annals of history. Catherine the Great's legacy stretches far beyond her lifetime. In the weave of history, few threads shine as brightly as Catherine the Great's. Her reign, spanning over 3 decades, was a golden era for Russia, leaving an indelible mark that would shape the nation for centuries to come. Catherine's progressive policies, her patronage of the arts, and her expansionist ambitions helped to modernize Russia, drawing it out of the shadows and onto the world stage. Catherine's influence was not confined to the borders of her empire. She was a key player in the political landscapes of Europe, her policies and actions influencing the balance of power during her time. She cultivated relationships with the great minds of the Enlightenment, such as Voltaire and Diderot, integrating their ideas into her governance. This intriguing blend of autocracy and Enlightenment ideals is a testament to Catherine's political acuity. In the grand halls of the Hermitage Museum, one can trace the outlines of Catherine's enduring love for the arts. She was a voracious collector, amassing a treasure trove of artwork that would form the backbone of the museum's collection. Her patronage of the arts helped to foster a cultural renaissance in Russia, birthing a rich tapestry of literature, music, and visual arts that continue to inspire to this day. Catherine's influence also extended to her successors. Her grandson, Alexander I, was deeply influenced by her expansionist strategies, carrying forward her ambition to make Russia a dominant power in Europe. Her vision for a modern, powerful Russia was a guiding light for many of her successors. In popular culture, Catherine's life has been a source of fascination and intrigue. Her story has been depicted in numerous films, television series, and books, reflecting her enduring appeal and the universal fascination for her extraordinary life. Catherine the Great, a woman of humble origins, left a legacy that continues to shape Russia and the world to this day.